Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today I'd like to talk about food forests and that kind of thing. Now, here at College Hill Farm, I have blackberry brambles and raspberry brambles that I maintain each year. You can go back. We've done several videos on maintaining the brambles. But it's hard to maintain those brambles because what happens is that if I don't go through and mow down everything and let it come back for the second year, for the next year, then what happens is that raspberries and blackberries are pioneer species, meaning they come up when other stuff just won't do it, okay? They come up and get ready for small trees. So when the trees start growing, or the vines, blackberries get choked out, okay? That's the way that works. Blackberries come on first, then other hedges and sedges, and then trees. By the time trees start, the blackberries are all choked out, and there are none, okay? Blackberries, you notice they always just grow at the margins of forests. We used to harvest blackberries all the time, going through and looking at the strip mines where they made the log roads, or the loggers where they made the log roads, and we'd go in there and harvest blackberries for a couple of years after them. But then they grow up and there ain't no blackberries there anymore, and you got to find someplace else. So if you think that you're going to plant something called a food forest, now there are lots of things out there about how you can get back to nature more and how native man lived and all that stuff. But the truth is a food forest is not going to feed you. All right? Hunter-gatherers need between 7 and 250 square miles in order to feed one person. Okay, so a band of 10 needs between 70 and 2,500 square miles, depending on the terrain. Around here in Kentucky, the estimate is if we just had hunter-gatherers, that there would only be, Kentucky itself could only support about 6,000 individuals. Yeah. Okay, when Daniel Boone got here, the Native Americans were farmers. They weren't hunter-gatherers. Let me say that again. When Daniel Boone got here, contrary to what they show you on TV, the Native Americans were farmers, not hunter-gatherers. They did hunt, but they hunted responsibly. Just like we use livestock. They considered deer and buffalo and things like that, elk, just like livestock. Okay? Our ancestors didn't do that. They hunted them to extinction. So, yeah, a food forest is fine thought, but it's bull sugar. All right, you can have a forest with apple trees and things like that, but it's not going to feed you. All right, agriculture does not occur in nature. Agriculture is the will of man. Let me explain. Now, I grow heirloom vegetables here. I grow heirloom tomatoes. I grow heirloom squash. I grow heirloom corn. I grow heirloom peppers. I grow heirlooms of just about every variety you can grow. Okay? When I plow in the spring, none of those thousands of millions of seeds come up. All right, I might get 1 or 2 volunteer tomato plants out of thousands of seeds that laid and rotted in the field. All right, agriculture does not occur without the will of man. That's just the way it is. And if you think it's different, you're wrong. Now, I have done this, been doing this for a long time, and I plant by row crop, and I would hate to have to plant if I didn't have a plow. Okay, the plow was an innovation that came about long time ago. Cavemen made hoes out of a stick and a rock. All right, there were Native Americans that had hoes before they had steel. Yeah, there were Native Europeans that had hoes before they had steel. Now, man didn't take off. We were hunter-gatherers, and according to the history that tells us, we were hunter-gatherers, and we didn't really take off as a species and make big cities and things like that until we established agriculture. All right? We established agriculture. So if you want to feed yourself, you can't make a 7 square mile food forest. Okay? You might feed yourself, but you can't feed your family. That's just the way it is. All these folks with the food forest stuff, it's bull sugar. Don't fall for it. It's just one of those things that they tell you all this stuff. And as far as wood chips, okay, I have tried everything. I've tried hugelkultur. I've tried raised beds. Raised beds are great when you've got a bad back. Okay, I'll just admit it freely. And I'm putting in more raised beds so I can garden when I get older. But I've tried hugelkultur. I've tried raised beds. I've tried the thing where you put down the wood chips. I can't think of the name of it right now. I tried that. I tried deep mulch. I've tried all kinds of things, and nothing is as economical and as easy as standard row crop that my grandpa did 75 years ago. Okay? He got his first tractor. I think he told me he got his first tractor in like 1941 or 1940. I don't remember. Just after the Depression. And he got his first tractor, and I think it was a Farmall A, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember exactly but he had a Farmall A at one time, and he had IH-140, which is the tractor I grew up with. Times have come a long way. He didn't have a tiller like I've got. He plowed, turned the soil over with his plow, and then disked. And then we came through and hoed and that kind of thing. There were no tillers. He had a set of cultivators that went on his tractor, but after the stuff got too high, that IH-140 was called a cultivating tractor. It could go over stuff about 2 foot high. So he could go through there with his cultivators and clear the weeds out and help keep the weeds down. But most of it, you tended it with a hoe. He also used weed killer for his big garden where he put all of his corn to feed his chickens. Okay? He used a broadleaf weed killer on that. I know. Most of y'all say, well, that's horrible. Well, it is. He cover cropped. He planted a cover crop every year, either soybeans or vetch or something like that. And then he turned around and plowed that in as a green manure crop. Use that to help make his ground more fertile. But he bought fertilizer just like I do. Okay? Modern fertilizer has fed the world. When we came up with modern fertilizer, and it's petroleum based, they make it off of crude oil, a petroleum based fertilizer, nitrous ammonia, which is fixed nitrogen like they've got in like the lightning does for us in the air. Makes fixed nitrogen so that the plants that absorb nitrogen can absorb it. Crown vetch is one of those. Soybeans is another. And that's why he used them as a green manure crop. In 1945, there was rationing, and he couldn't get vetch and he couldn't get soybeans. So he took and bought Kentucky Blue Hemp. That was before they worried about whether it had THC content. And so he had 4 acres of Kentucky blue hemp sowed on his place that he turned in as a green manure crop. So, yeah, agriculture is just what it is. Now, as far as me, some folks have been asking because I haven't been putting on a lot of videos, or my videos have been real short. I am either having a flare of ulcerative colitis or multiple sclerosis. I don't know which. This stuff happens when you get old. That's where I'm at. I can get out on my tractor and tool around, mow, and maybe till. But as far as doing any heavy manual labor, I can't do it. I'm hoping that will get cleared up. I've got to go and have another colonoscopy here in the next day or two. I had my infusion Tuesday, so yeah, it's not been good, but I'm not dying. All right, I'm not dying. I can still get out and mow a little. I can mow for about 45 minutes and I have to stop. I'm killed, wore out, can't do nothing else. So that's where I'm at. Now, if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff every week, sometimes once, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. Now, if you hit the little bell when you come to the channel, it'll be right up here. It'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Now, time for me to get on to the next thing. And I promise I'll get better and bring the longer form videos back. Love y'all.